Okay, YouTube, welcome back to Josh Does Life. This one's going to be just another kind of video updating you on the status of this aquarium. So this is my 40-gallon breeder. I originally did a video when I first got it planted and set up. Some changes are being made to it as well. As I talked about in the other video, I have switched to a different brand of canister filter that I've changed out on all my aquariums. I'm also changing out how I deliver CO2 in this system. So that's why you see the atomic diffuser just kind of hanging there in the water for right now. I'm really pleased with how this aquarium turned out. It's got a ways to go, and as you see and you'll first notice, I am struggling with a bad algae outbreak in here with brown algae. It's it's something fun to deal with. So it comes off really easily. You know, I can take my suction hose and just suck it away, and but in the next couple days. So anyway, yeah, I'm working on getting rid of the algae. What I did wrong, I believe, with this tank is initially when I set it up, and if you follow the videos, all of the plants in here, for the most part, came from Tropica. They're the 1-2 grow plants. I think the only things that didn't are the Anubis. I think everything else did. So anyway, when I first set up this tank, it's really good. You have so many nutrients in here from the substrate that you're using that you don't need to add fertilizer in most cases, to my understanding, for at least the first couple weeks, maybe even 3 weeks in. You know, it should, there's the substrate a lot of times releases a lot of nutrients into the water. So you get big algae blooms from that. What I actually did was I added fertilizer in from day one. So I've been kind of dealing with an algae outbreak ever since day one. So I've gone and I've kept cleaning it out, but I keep getting more. I've done some pretty big water changes, you know, about 50%, you know, is what I typically do every time for the most part for now. I'm not using RODI water with these, though I am running a carbon filter on my tap water and a 5-micron particle filter. So I'm getting some filtration, but it's not taking everything out of the water. My water does, you know, for the most part, still have some, I wouldn't say contaminants, but has some like nutrient value to it. So that, in combination with adding the fertilizer and then the substrate in there, I'm dealing with algae in here. It did look a lot worse, and I did a water change, and then I changed out the filter on this one as well. I had a Eheim 250 canister on this tank, which in best practices for me, the way I've always done things, the filter was a little bit small for this tank. I would usually tend to put a 350 on a 40-gallon. I didn't because of the stand that was purchased. I know you can't see it very well here, and I have a child lock on it because we have a baby in the house, but I didn't really want to run the filter beside the cabinet on the floor, so I only had a limited amount of space in that cabinet to run a canister filter, and that was my reason behind running the 250. It just barely did fit in there. I had just over 15 inches of clearance. So that's what I decided to run on here to start with. I got the algae breaks, not because of the filter. You know, the filter was still doing its job. I think I still need more filtration. So as part of my project, I've just decided to try a different brand of filters altogether. So I've switched it over to that, and I'm about to switch over the CO2 setup, how I'm doing that. I do have the Eheim skimmer in the back on this tank, and I'll kind of zoom in a little bit and do some close-ups and kind of let you see a little bit more of the tank. I am running on all of my tanks now. I'm running the Fluval LED light. I originally did purchase a Phoenix, and I purchased another cheap light testing them out, and I'll go back and look at that and see actually what it was called. I decided in the test that I did, for the money and for what you get, I went with the Fluval lights on all 3 tanks. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. I did initial thoughts and kind of a little bit of review on the Fluval versus Phoenix and what I liked and didn't like. As I've had these for a longer period of time now, I'll talk about them a little bit more. Let's see. This one, you know, this to me is a little bit more on the verge of aquascaping as versus the 36 gallon that's in my son's room. I actually put a lot more thought into the layout of it. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I like it. If I can get rid of this algae, then we'll be good. But it's nutrients and nitrates and stuff like that that's causing this algae bloom, which, you know, it'll go away after a while. I'll do some more water changes, get it cleaned out, and it's thinning out a lot now, so it's on the way out. So we're working on that. I think this tank's really going to be a nice looking tank, and I'm really pleased with it. And the choices I made with the plants that are in it and with the fish I have in it so far. I do want to add probably just some more of the neon tetras. I had like 7 or 8 of them, just the regular neon tetras in here, and then I had 6 glow tetras in here, and I assume they died. They disappeared. I do have the some of the dwarf rainbows there, as you can see. I have the albino cories, and then I have some of the glow tetras left. And there's only a couple of the neon tetras left, but I do want to get some more of those. I do have a decent amount of shrimp in this tank. I don't know if we'll spot any right off the bat. They like to hang out in that dwarf sage. I have some, well, there's one. I don't know if you can see it back there. That's an Amano shrimp, if you can see it. So I have about 10 Amano shrimp, and then I have some places that carry them call them blue velvets, some call them like blue dreams or whatever. But the Neocardinia family of shrimp. My son's tank, I went with just the red cherry shrimp, and in this one I decided to do the blues. But I apologize for the shaky phone. I'm kind of, I got tired of putting more and more money into making the videos for right now and not having any kind of return. So I'm just kind of doing my videos differently. I'm doing them on the cheap, you might say. I have sold the Canon that I was using, and got rid of the $20 a month Adobe video editing subscription, and got rid of the GoPro and other stuff that I had, and rolled that back into putting money into the aquariums to kind of make them nicer and redo some things. Now I'm going to continue making videos, and if I get to a point to where I have enough subscribers to where I see any kind of money or return on this whatsoever, then, you know, I might get nicer equipment. But for now, I'm just going to use the old trusty cell phone. So I took a piece of Mopani wood back there to make kind of like a little tree looking deal, and put some of the Anubis Nano on top of it. I really like those. I think it looks good like that. We have, other than that, we have dragonstone in here, and then we have the carob sea substrate. So just so you can see kind of everything. I'm horrible with names. I'm not gonna try to say the name of that plant. Everybody usually just references those as AR minis. And that's what that is. And you can see all this lovely algae. So that's the tank. I just wanted to kind of give everybody an update. I know I like going to channels and see what other aquarists, I can't talk today, have going on and what their tanks are looking like and what changes they're making, what's being done. So I'm kind of doing the same thing so that anybody has any interest, you know, you can follow my channel and kind of see what's going on, what I'm working on and what I'm doing. But there will be more to come. I'm going to do separate videos on the CO2 systems that I've decided to use and the filtration systems I've decided to use. And then I'm going to do a video on the other larger tank that I'm working on now. As always, I do appreciate anybody that takes the time to watch my videos. I hope you enjoy them and get something out of them. I try to make videos that I would want to watch, and stuff like that, you know, well, like this just interests me. So I hope they're, I wouldn't necessarily say entertaining, but I hope you get some value out of watching them. I'm going to do some videos kind of a more in-depth discussion altogether on aquariums and my experiences with them and what all things I've done and tried. And so we'll try to do some more videos geared towards the aquarium hobby for a little while. Then as the weather gets better, then I'm going to get back outside and also incorporate some other videos with other hobbies and things like that I enjoy as well. But if you enjoy the videos and want to see, you know, changes I make to all this stuff and how it ends up, please subscribe to the channel. I really would like to boost my subscriber base. And as always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I'll try to answer them as quickly as I can.